Hey, everybody, Rob Cootie here. Just want to say good morning. It's currently Monday, January 11th. It's 10:58 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As you know, we go live each and every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you will, please share our platforms and our website and everything else with our fellow network marketers all across the globe. You can do that utilizing hashtag the MLM Solution, hashtag the MLM Solution. Today's subject is podcast number 110, partnership, not friendship. Once again, that's partnership, not friendship. You want to find out how to make your business be a long-term residual income machine. You do not want to miss today's episode. We'll see you shortly. Thanks.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie.
Hello there, Miss Marie. How are you today?
Good morning, Rob. Happy Monday to you. What is going on?
Not a whole lot. We've been moving. And let me fix my chair. And as you can imagine, that has been a real challenge. And we had to get some family members because my arm has actually taken a turn for the worse. I don't know what's going on. Got a meeting with a doctor on Friday. I'm going to really push to get this over with because it is really causing me problems. I have no idea. There's obviously something wrong. So anyway, enough of that. I couldn't help a whole lot. I was doing the one arm thing.
Well, no, somebody's got to supervise, right?
Supervise.
You're the man with the plan.
I don't know about that, but they were getting on me, quit helping. But if you have the type of personality I do, I'm not going to stand by and do nothing. But at the same time, I'm not going to hurt myself. I want everybody to know that I am the type of man. I do take direction. If I felt like I was hurting myself any further, Miss Marie, I would not have done it. If I felt like I was going to fall and not be able to catch myself, I would not have done it. So I helped from the house to the moving truck, and then from there into the storage unit. I did not do anything. So I did listen in certain parts. So we got the process started. We got all the extra stuff into storage, the stuff we don't use on a daily basis, stuff that needs to be packed up, holiday stuff, things you pull out that you need, but not on a daily basis. So we're clearing out the house of anything that's not a day-to-day basis need. So there we go.
Awesome. That sounds like an exciting weekend.
Well, moving is exciting, but at the same time, it's a pain in the butt.
It is. It's one of my least favorite activities.
It is. But the excitement of moving and starting something new and doing this and doing that, everybody gets wrapped up in that. But you're right. Once you do that, once you start the actual physical moving part, you're like, this really sucks. So there you go. But hey, you know what? It's a necessary evil, isn't it?
It is. But hey, it's Monday. It's the beginning of a new week. We've got some exciting topics coming up this week. I'm looking forward to get into it today. Monday, January 11th, podcast number 110. As Rob likes to say, we're getting close to 200. Look out, here we come.
Here we come, 200.
Today we're talking about partnership, not friendship. Rob, do you want to set us up for what this episode is about?
One of the biggest things, as you know, Miss Marie, getting your business off the ground is like a jetliner taking off. It uses 90% of its force to get off the ground because it's fighting gravity and weight and blah, 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 wind. And once it gets up at altitude, it just goes into cruise mode. Well, that's exactly obviously what happens, creating the speed and urgency to get your business off that platform that you're building. Because look, the 5 simple steps put together the platform, literally the platform that causes your business or gives you the ability for your business to go up. And you say, well, what's the platform? Your phase 2 process, finding and working with your leaders. Okay, your 90-day mini blast is helping you create the speed and urgency, meaning you're going through leads as quick as possible. You're delivering that music to the ears message, bam, 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 as quickly as you can. And what happened is, as you sponsor these people that are 5 and above on the ambition scale, as you sponsor, let's say you have a goal of 60 people in 90 days, as you sponsor your portions of that 60 people, guess what? That's your foundation. And if you are fortunate enough to actually get some of these go-getters and 3 or 4 of them actually take off like you are, that is where the momentum starts to come in, the speed and urgency, right, Miss Maureen?
Yep. Okay. That's the exciting part of the business. You get that launch taken off.
It is. But at the same time, here's the problem with that. And here's one of the fallacies, or not fallacies, one of the traps, one of the unknown real issues of the business. And the reason I bring up the beginning part of it, and that a jet uses 90% of its fuel and power getting off the ground, is because that's exactly what you're doing. You're putting in all this effort. You're wearing yourself out. You're focused. You're putting a lot of energy and everything into getting your business, number one, the foundation in place, and then 2, building on that foundation to where your business can hit exponential growth, right? Well, that's a lot of hard work. The phase 2 part of the business building process, meaning identifying and working with your leaders, is where you're at altitude, you're cruising. You know what to do, you know the message, but what you don't know is this here, working with the leaders. We've had 2 or 3 episodes on leaders, finding your leaders in your back office, finding your leaders out in the field, the characteristics they have, et cetera, how to work with them. These are all critically important things, because as we told you, the essence of the business is leaders. You have to have leaders in order for your business to go. And the other thing is not necessarily the essence, but the thing that you get paid on is volume. So auto ship, in other words, it's all in the back end, is another episode we did. I'm painting a total picture here as I get to this partnership, not friendship topic. What you're doing is you got all the back end is where your money is. Okay, that's auto ship is where the money is. You can have all the leaders you want, and if you're not using the threshold of profitability, and if you don't have 100 people on auto ship that are on 100 PV and above, you have no business. Okay. You can have all the leaders you want, but if none of them are on auto ship and they're willy-nilly, you don't have a business. Okay. So you have a mess, but you don't have a business. Okay. So with that being said, you have this cohesive unit. People are focused. They understand the threshold of profitability. You have people on auto ship because you understand that's where the money is. But guess what? One thing that could ruin all of that is your mindset right here, meaning partnership, not friendship. And that's hard, because what have you been taught your whole life? To have friends. What have you done in your adult life? Surround yourself with friends. That is a natural part of who we are. We want to be liked. We want to be accepted. We want to have interaction with people that we like and that we have common interests with. That is who we are as human beings. That is normal. You cannot rob yourself of that. So you say, okay, well, how do you handle this? That's a great question. And that is where this can be a major pitfall. Okay. And matter of fact, in our What Not to Do in Network Marketing, Miss Marie, we talk about this. We have paragraphs on this because it is that important. Look, you've got to have a partnership, not a friendship. Okay. And let me give you a real life example that'll help clarify this. Miss Marie and I know each other very well. Okay. If Miss Marie was to come to me tomorrow and say, Rob, I've run into this great company, and she lays everything out. Okay. Here's a comp plan. This is what we get paid at the 10,000 group volume mark. Here's who the leaders are. As I told you, as professional business builders, we talk about what makes us money. Okay, we know the core items we got to look at. We're not worried about the product. So the thing is that she says, hey, what do you think? I say, you know what? I think you got something here. Let's work together. She sponsors me, but because of our professionalism, because of our knowledge, I immediately submit myself to her because she has a superior position by being a sponsor. Now, the only reason I submit myself to her is because we're on the same page with the 5 simple steps. We're on the same page on just about everything. Okay, she may have some little quirks here and there because of her personality. That is part of working with someone, and vice versa. But the point is, for the most part, 85, 90%, we're on the same page with everything. I feel very comfortable submitting myself to her because I know we're using the same approach, the same message, et cetera, et cetera. So her and I could work together. So what comes into play here is that we're friends for 20 years. I know because I'm willing to submit myself to her superior position, meaning she's my sponsor and my leader, that I have to remain a partner. When we're together on a conference call, at a corporate event, a local event, I always have to be professional. I have to submit myself to her. I cannot act like a big shot. Not that I would anyway, but I can't. I cannot try to upstage her. I cannot let my personality overwhelm the room. I have to let her do what she needs to do as a leader. I'm being a partner by doing that, okay? Because she's quite capable of leading her own organization. It's not my job to steal her show, okay? And the friendship part, even when off stage, even when we're alone and no one else sees us, I do not play the friendship card. If we want to go out to lunch, we go out to lunch, and you know what? We don't talk about business. I don't say, hey, I didn't like what you did here. I didn't like what you said there. I don't do any of that. I don't do that as a friend. If I have an issue with something she said or something she did, I do that in the context of her and I, me requesting a Zoom call, private, her and I, that's it. And I say, Marie, this is what you did the other day and that hurt my feelings. Or, hey, I don't agree with this. Can you tell me and explain to me and clarify to me why you did this? Because this is not what we've always done in the past. That's how you handle this type of situation where you have a friend, right, Miss Marie?
Well, it is. It's really distinguishing between the business and the personal, right? You're keeping that business relationship professional. You're dealing with the business aspects separate from the personal, the friendship, the natural interactions you have in relationship. And it's easy for that line to get blurry, I think, especially for women, because we tend to be, again, the more nurturing relationship building, whereas men can be a little bit more, clear-cut functional. It's like, it's all business. And then, after hours, it's the sports talk and whatever else goes on. Right. So yeah. There is a little bit of a blurry line there, and you've got to be very careful about being clear. If there is a conversation you're going to have with someone who also happens to be a friend, preface it with, hey, this is a business conversation, or this is a personal conversation, and just make sure that the timing and context is appropriate either way.
Mm-hmm. Right. The thing is that you have a situation. Let me ask you something. To you, as you're looking at me, is my screen all fuzzy? Is my face smeared? Is there any delay at all?
No.
I watched some of the replays, and it was terrible. Your picture was fine. You were clear, but mine was like looking at Acid Man. So I was just curious. That cannot be fun to watch. Okay, so with that being said, Miss Marie, the thing is that I bring up the example between you and I because we're seasoned professionals. We know the role. And I use you as the sponsor and me as the newbie, because I wanted to show people that, hey, regardless of who you are, you being a woman, me being a man, that we have professionalism in our blood. We know how to handle this situation. We know the dangers of me playing the friendship card in a professional partnership situation. That could be disastrous for both of us. That can cause resentful feelings. It could cause deep down feelings that you're holding down, and then one day they come to the surface and explode, or vice versa. The thing is that you and I know the dangers of trying to mix a partnership with a friendship, and that is not a good situation. And I do not encourage you to do that here, guys. If you're friends and your friend calls you and they're your sponsor, You need to submit yourself. Does not mean you are the puppet. Does not mean you do not have a voice. Does not mean that you're always wrong. Okay? What it means is that you got to realize that they are your sponsor. They hold a superior position. They're not your boss. They're not your dictator. None of that stuff. Okay? They're not your Joe Biden. All right? They are, in fact, someone that is your friend, but they are, guess what? Your sponsor. And there's a certain amount of respect that goes with that process and that position. And you should edify Miss Marie instead of trying to find ways to bring her down. And I don't mean bring her down like destroy her, but I mean try and bring her down to your level because, quote unquote, you're friends. That's total bullcrap. You don't do that stuff. Okay? So I use us because even as seasoned professionals, if anybody's going to try and cheat the system, we would, because you would think that we have the knowledge and experience to know how to get around this, right, Miss Marie?
Well, yes. But we also know the pitfalls of doing so.
The pitfalls far outweigh any advantage. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know of any advantage. I've been in this situation. I never had an issue because I never took advantage of the friendship that we had. I understood my role, understood the position, but I also understood it was my business. But I could cause real havoc if I was going to play that friendship card. That is not the way to build this business, guys. You are asking for big trouble. Karma is a bitch, as they say. You try and get away with it. I promise you, it is going to come back tenfold on you. It is not a pretty situation. But that does not give you a right to be a dictator. It does not give you a right to be mean to your downline. It does not give you a right to have an elitist attitude where you think you're better than them or that you're smarter than them. You just happen to be lucky enough to get into the company sooner than they did. And because you were willing to pick up the phone, you sponsored Rob. It wasn't anything else other than that. Okay. And kudos to you for making the call. But at the same time, Rob does not have to put up with any bull crap just because you're, quote unquote, in a position that's numerically superior to the one that Rob has. Now, you say, okay, Rob, I totally get that. But what if you were not friends before you met this business? And Miss Marie, you become friends, right, during the business. Miss Marie and I, when we first met, we pretty much hit it off right away. And we had a lot of similarities. And that happens in business, okay? So let's continue to use her and I as an example. Let's say that Miss Marie and I had never met before. We get on a Zoom call, or maybe our first meeting's at a local presentation. Okay, maybe Miss Marie was doing the presentation, and maybe I go there and we hit it off just like we did before. Well, and let's say I've never been in network marketing before, and we get we cut up and stuff after the presentation because it's awkward. I just met her. I'm not really myself. But as the months go by and I feel a little more comfortable around her, my personality starts to come out. And guess what? As soon as she senses anything, she has to say, hey, Rob, we need to talk, or however she wants to approach, because that always comes out bad. But hey, if you got time, I want to go over something with you about the business building process. It's probably a better way to go about it, okay? And so then what's she going to do? She's going to address it just like we talked about. Hey, this is one of the pitfalls of network marketing. It has nothing to do. You know that I enjoy your company, but here's the problem with being friends. And she lays it out on the line just like we talked about a moment ago. All the pitfalls that come with trying to have a friendship, quote unquote, as you have a partnership. And let's say that I'm willing to accept her insights and her knowledge and say, okay, I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. And I'm willing to play along with the game. Okay. That is one scenario. Or Rob could say, well, hey, if we're truly my own business, and, you and I should be able to pull it off. Here's the thing. I'm putting her in a spot to make a tough decision because, once again, she knows the problems that's going to cause. And she can see where Rob's going to be 80% of her problems. Because usually, Miss Marie, as you know, you have one person that causes 80% of your problems or one leg that causes 80% of your problems. And then you only get 20% of your other problems from the whole other group. Is everybody is one. So Miss Marie knows that, and she's like, oh, man, I got to cut this off in the past. And she's got to have, as we said before, balls of steel and say, Rob, if you insist going down this road, you're going to put me in a position where I'm going to have to make a tough decision and not work with you. I am not willing to jeopardize my reputation and my business and my success that I worked so hard to create because of this. If that sounds harsh, I'm sorry. This is a business. This is a multi-million-dollar business. I am not going to jeopardize that. This is a golden rule in network marketing, and I cannot break this rule. And if you're not willing to participate, then we can't work together. Okay. She has to have the guts to do that. All right. Because it is that serious, is it not, Miss Marie?
It is. But at the same time, I have to say, I want to back up just a little bit and talk about the fact that
you're going to back up.
beep,
yeah.
Backing up. No, this is one of the incredible things about the network marketing industry. But in the context of what we're talking about today, it's a bit of a challenge as well. And it's the friendships that you develop in the industry, because the network marketing industry as a whole tends to attract the type of people you want to relate with. If you're engaged in the network marketing industry, you are an action taker. You're a go-getter. You have a vision for what you want your life to be, a certain level of success, a certain lifestyle that you want to achieve. And you're naturally attracted to other individuals who have the same types of goals, the same type of personality. We talk about, you're recruiting people who are already successful in the world. So these are people that you want to get to know better. And it's not unusual to start developing friendships. So the challenge comes in really balancing that, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I found worked best for me was I always had a very clear schedule of when I was doing business. So if I blocked out time each day or each evening on the weekend, whenever it was, that I was doing my business and conversations would start veering towards the friendship side, I'd have to reel it back and say, look, this is business hours. I've got to take care of business. Yeah, I'd love to hear how, the wife and family are doing, but let's talk, after 8 o'clock tonight when I'm no longer quote unquote working, right. And we can do that personal thing. So there has to be a clear division. You have to get it straight in your mind. Yes. What is business time and what is personal time? Right. Because especially when you're in a situation where you have a full-time job and this is something you're adding on top, you have a limited amount of availability to be on that phone, delivering the music to the ears message, reaching out and following up with people that you've contacted. Say you only have 2 or 3 hours each evening. Well, if I get on the phone with Rob and I'm doing, a check-in because he's one of my business partners and he had a question and he starts saying, hey, how was your weekend? We went to the Louisville game and, yay, they won. I'd be like, I'd have to dial it back and say, hey, yeah. Rob, I'm on a time schedule here. Let's catch up later. I'd love to hear more about that, but now is not the time, because it is very easy for that type of conversation that should be 5 to 10 minutes out of the 2-3 hours you have available, all of a sudden become an hour, because Rob likes to talk. I enjoy listening to Rob. I like talking to Rob. It's like we get together and we look at the clock and all of a sudden it's 30 minutes later. It's like, where did all that time go?
I know.
So you really have to be disciplined in developing those friendships and relationships as well. And the other thing too is, keep in mind, we always talk about duplication. So what are you doing? You are training your partners to do the same thing with the folks they're bringing in as partners, to be very clear on what is work time and what is personal time. Right. We're in no way are we discouraging you from developing friendships, because I have to tell you, some of the coolest people on the planet I have met through the network marketing industry, whether it was a company I was involved in with them or through events that just naturally attract those types of folks. So we are not by any means discouraging those relationships. We're just cautioning you on how they can negatively impact your business, and the fact that you need to make that clear distinction between what's a part of the partnership, part of the business process, versus the friendship and the personal side.
That's right. Absolutely. And well done. Well done. And, just to let you guys know, when you use a scale of ambition, and as you guys know, I have a love-hate relationship with self-help. I understand it works. I believe in the law of attraction. It's happened to me too many times on a personal level for me to deny there's something to this law of attraction. Let me use Miss Marina as an example. We met, it's one thing to meet somebody new, get along with them at a corporate event, and then you both go your separate ways and never talk again. That's happened more times than not. That did not happen to Miss Marie and I. There was a law of attraction on both sides. We either we're kindred spirits, or we share certain soul parts. There's something there that you run into people in life and you have this instant connection, like a lost brother and sister, whatever the case may be. I think all of you can relate to those statements. And that's kind of what we went through. Now, the reason I bring that up is because when you're doing the scale of ambition, because of what she just said, what are you doing with the scale of ambition? You're looking for people that have the same traits. We tell you that all the time. People that are used to setting goals, people that are used to going after those goals, people that are used to success and they're comfortable with success, that are used to promotions. Guess what? You might have either all of those traits or some of those traits, whatever. So you're going to have an instant attraction to them. I don't mean physically, but I mean an instant connection is probably a better way to put it. And there's a law of attraction taking place there. Why? Because you have similarities. And if they have a nice personality and a nice demeanor, that furthers that law of attraction. In other words, that communication, that nonverbal communication between the two of you, saying, hey, we got a lot in common here. You're pretty cool. I'd like to hang out with you. Okay, that is what takes place. Okay, marketing attraction is a little bit like the same thing. You say, well, what is marketing attraction? You use marketing, which is the music to the ears message, because that's what you're doing. You're putting your best foot forward. You're using a message to deliver what you bring to the table to this prospect. They determine whether there's value in that statement that you're delivering, okay, and if it meets their needs. But what are you doing? You're marketing attraction. That message is the marketing part. The attraction is, yes, I want that lifestyle. Yes, I want that money. And that is an attraction that may come first versus the personality connection that you have with someone. So there's two things taking place there at the same time, okay? Now, you say, what has that got to do with what's going on? Because of the duplication that she just talked about, you start out as a partner, despite the fact that while you're with that person, you're thinking to yourself, hey, we got a lot in common. This would be a cool person to hang out with, okay? You got to maintain, you got to have that word, partnership, not friendship, hitting you in the head as you're talking to this new person. Okay. And you walk away not saying a word. Hey, you're really cool. I'd like to hang out with you. Okay. You can do that later. You got to get through the prospecting process. It's important that I bring this up because this is one of those hidden gems. This is a platinum nugget. Okay. You have to finish the whole recruiting process. We're going to talk about tomorrow. Wednesday, prospecting versus recruiting. There's two distinct things. They're totally different. And you'd be like, well, what are you talking about? They're one and the same. People use those words to identify the same process. Well, they're fools. They're making mistakes. That's not. We'll clarify that. There's an important and critical difference between prospecting and recruiting. Okay. So during the prospecting process, you have to remain a partner. Okay. Even though they haven't joined your business, you're still a potential partner. They're going to duplicate what you do. Okay. And if you're being sincere and you meet them at a Starbucks or you're on a Zoom call and you say, look, Miss Marie, I've got another meeting in 35 minutes. I got 20 minutes for you. I got to get ready for the next one. Especially if you have to drive to another part of town, you're meeting her at Starbucks, whatever. You got to stick with that. If you break that rule, number one, you're saying I lied to you. And so now you're hurting your credibility. Now you're telling her that you really did not have another person on the other side of town. If you do, in fact, have another person on the other side of town, you're saying that person's time is not important. They'll wait on you. Okay. There's nothing good that comes out of breaking your appointments that you tell Miss Marie you have. Okay. Right, Miss Marie?
That is true.
Okay, so there's nothing good coming out of this. What am I saying? Guys, remember, even if you hit it off from the moment you get around each other, remain professional. I can honestly say that Miss Marie and I talked business the whole time when we first met, even though we got along, even though we knew that we had the potential to be friends. When we were together, we talked business most of the time. We just had a good time doing it. Okay. We didn't become friends until later. And it wasn't because I was going to sponsor. It never even crossed my mind. We were there to learn. We were there to do some things. We were not focused on, I don't think you ever asked me and vice versa, what company we're with or whatever. Matter of fact, I can't even remember what event we were at.
I can tell you what event we were at. I was cleaning some stuff out of my office today and I came across it.
Oh my gosh.
We were at the MLM Traffic Formula live event in Austin,
Texas, with Mike Dillard.
Yep.
Mike and I are good friends.
and I will tell you, I don't know what company you were with at the time because it didn't matter, because everybody that was there was engaged in their own thing, but this was a cross company type of training. It's like everybody wants it, right? Traffic. Right. It's all about the traffic.
Right. So good point, man. That's awesome. You're absolutely right. And you know what? I'd have to look back at that time frame to see what company I was with at that time. I couldn't tell you. Even if I was with a company, I couldn't tell you. But anyway, good point. Good catch there. Wow. How weird is that?
Yeah, a little throwback for you there.
Throwback. That was. Okay. So the point is that her and I would have remained partnership mindset, because we understand the pitfalls, and you got to go through the whole prospecting process. Okay. And then when you sign up, Miss Marie, or she signs me up, whatever the case is, they now become your partner. Okay. You have the recruiting process. You have the prospecting process first, the recruiting process second, and then you have the sign up process. Then you have the business building process. That's the way it lays out. But the point is that she does not, she never brings up the word friendship or partnership during the prospecting process, even during the business building process, because if I don't cause an issue, there's no reason for her to bring it up. Okay. If it's in the training, if she chooses to bring it up in training, she could say, hey, Rob, I need you to go watch this video. It's podcast number 110. It's called Partnership, Not Friendship. Please go there and watch that. That is probably the best thing she could do, because here's what's going to happen. Rob, because we're friends, Miss Marie, I don't know if you've ever seen this or experienced this. Miss Marie, you could tell your mother or your dad, hey, don't stick your finger in that hole, because that mouse is going to bite you. Okay. And your mom and dad are like, yeah, whatever, And so a week down the road, you're there with your parents, and neighbors over there too. And one of the neighbors comes up and says, hey, don't stick your finger in that hole, because that mouse will bite you. Oh, really? Well, I guess I better not do that. You're like, Mom, I just told you that. Oh, you did? Well, I don't remember that. Oh my gosh, Mom, I was trying to keep you from getting bit. Well, George just told me. I won't stick my finger down there now. I mean, you're just like, But what am I saying? There are people that are in your family, people that you're close to, that won't listen to you. So if Miss Marie says, Rob, go to podcast 110, what is Rob doing? He's listening to an outside source that's an expert. And Rob is going to take that to heart. That podcast, number 110, is going to have more credibility to Rob than any word Miss Marie could utter. Okay. So once again, you have these tools at your fingertip. This is not a promo, but you have these tools at your fingertips to help you drive certain points home about the business building process. Miss Marie, this is one of these underground subjects that is so important in the business building process, because if you let friendship come into the partnership, you are undermining your own success. You will destroy your business one friendship at a time.
Yeah. And I just want to piggyback on what Rob's saying there. There is high value in third-party validation.
Yes.
So rather than you just saying something in the training or the teaching, or, trying to get a message across to your business partner, to use an objective third party as your source of information can be much more effective in making that message stick. The other thing it does for you is it saves time.
Yeah.
You're just spending 2 or 3 minutes saying, hey, refer them to the podcast episode, rather than getting into a conversation that could go 10, 15, maybe even longer, minutes longer. Yeah. So definitely take advantage of those types of things. And that is part of the value that we really bring here. Not only are we talking about things that other leaders in the network marketing industry aren't necessarily talking about, but we are providing you with tools that you can use in duplication. Again, that key aspect of your network marketing business that you can use to save you time, effort, money, and help do the same thing, the same type of training through your downline. So as always, we ask you, please give us a thumbs up if you like what you hear, you understand the points that we're making. We always appreciate that type of interactive feedback. Yep. And then of course, on all of our social media channels, please be sure to like, comment, and share. You can find us across all the social media channels using hashtag #TheMLMSolution. That's hashtag #TheMLMSolution. Also, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Register for notifications there. Click on that little bell twice. You'll get notified when we upload new content, when we're live. You can join us live and interact with us here on the podcast because we love doing that with you. Right. And then last but not least, our website, themlmsolution.net. Be sure to go check that out. There is a wealth of information we have curated there for you. And as a matter of fact, right now, we have 3 free gifts available for you to download. Each of these downloads includes an ebook, an audio program, as well as a video. So go check those out. Those 3 items are the 4 critical mistakes most network marketers make and how to correct them. Now, was the critical mistake of mixing friendship with partnership one of those? I don't know. Download it and find out. There you go. We also have the 5 steps to network marketing success, the 5 simple steps we always talk about. What? Free to download? Absolutely. Go grab it. And then there's 0 to Network Marketing Hero, kind of gives you the full scope of everything we talk about in the network marketing system and building your business using consistent and correct business building activities.
I was just highlighting them while you were talking so that people could see what they are. And Ms. Marie, you brought up something a minute ago. If I don't bring it up now, I'll forget about it. That is another great subject. When to use the material in our members area and when to use your knowledge during the training. In other words, you do it so often that Miss Marie could do it in her sleep, the training aspect I'm talking about. And you talked about leaning on the tools that save you time in the third-party validation, how much credibility is there. And that's huge. And you got to learn to mix the two, guys, to be efficient and effective. I'm telling you, if you will use other tools, effective tools, not just any tool, other effective tools that further enhance the business building process in a positive and productive way, in other words, everybody doing the same thing over and over and over in your organization, then guess what? You have a machine, literally a machine working. Well, guess what? When you have people going to the back office and they click on phase 1, all the material that they need to know is there in phase 1. Miss Marie can talk to Rob, sponsor him, sign him up right there, tell him to go through the 5 simple steps. I mean, she wants to do that. She doesn't just sign Rob up and within a minute, she's off the, okay, I signed you up. The most important thing you need to learn is a music to the ears message. Okay, now go to the members area. I'll talk to you tomorrow. She cannot do that. That's too efficient. That's too quick. This is a people business, okay? And there's a proper balance. And we need to do a show on that, Miss Marie. We need to say, because that's one of the things that you and I get so wrapped up in all the other things we need to talk about that we would overlook. Guys, there's a proper balance to that. You got to have the human aspect, but you also got to leverage the tools that we bring to the table. That's the reason why they're there. And we really don't talk about that enough, do we, Miss Marie?
Nope. I guess we're going to start talking about that more. Maybe that's our New Year's resolution.
There we go. Well, you have a great list this week. Guys, let me just tell you, I mean, today, partnership, not friendship, is one of the best subject matters. And I'm going to tell you, once again, you're not going to learn that anyplace else. I'm not going to rehash what she just said. Okay, but my gosh, think about that. Partnership, not friendship. That having a friendship in this business can really undermine and destroy your business. Tomorrow's subject: quick success and fast cash. Guys, there's if the money's too fast, if the success is too fast, typically people are taking advantage of unsuspecting people. In other words, it's a scam. Okay, it's a pyramid. All right. On the other hand, there's nothing wrong with quick success and fast cash if you do it correctly, honestly, and ethically. So as you can tell, there's a fine line. There's a delicate balance between the two. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Once again, where are you going to learn that? You want quick success and you want fast cash, okay? But you want it in an honest way where you're not taking advantage of people, and you want it to be solid so you can depend on it each and every month, right, Ms. Marie? We're going to be talking about it on Tuesday.
Yep.
So, and then Wednesday, Ms. Marie came up with prospecting and recruiting. Well, you can't beat that. Thursday is the value of a mentor. All of those are absolutely critical to your success. And Ms. Marie did a wonderful job. I looked at the list yesterday, and I was very impressed. I was like, wow, she really nailed it this week. So I'm excited to do the shows, Ms. Marie. You did a great job. Thank you.
Well, we always have a wealth of information to talk about, right? It's just picking out, what topics make sense and how can we sequence them to best help our viewers and listeners. So, again, feel free to give us feedback. And some of these ideas for these shows do come from you. Yes. Things you can do is contact us on our website using themlmsolution.net/survey. There's just a feedback form there. Fill out some information. Let us know what's on your mind. What's been helpful to you? What are you confused about? Because sometimes, especially for those of you who may be newer to the industry, we throw out topics and verbiage, and it's like, what are they talking about? Because it does have a little bit of its own vocabulary. Or there may be a topic that we kind of touched on in the course of a discussion, but we didn't go deep enough for you to really understand it. So any feedback you want to provide us, we are always open to, and actually we really enjoy it and appreciate it. So for those of you that have been participating in that manner, thanks so much. Appreciate you.
Exactly. It is a nice thing to have. All right, guys, we're done. It's 11:41. We'll see you 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow for another great subject, as you can see in the ticker. And for all of you on the podcast, quick success and fast cash, what's the difference between the two, and what's right and what's wrong with the process? We'll talk about that. As always, we take a deep dive in these subjects so that you guys can fully understand the pitfalls and the positives that go with the business building process. Tomorrow will be no different. Take care. God bless. We'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, themlmsolution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.